Story appears ordinary till you see the core side of it.
And what you're looking for is the story behind the news.
We bring it to you from Lagos, the commercial capital of Nigeria.
Giving you all sides on political stories round the clock.
Every detail from the start line to the final whistle.
CoreTV News, expanding your view.
Hello there, compliment of the season. Welcome to CoreTV Primetime News. I am Gete. In our major story, President Goodluck Jonathan cautions politicians on utterances as the 2015 elections gradually draw near. Also in this program, APC presidential candidate Muhammadu Buhari meets youth volunteers in Lagos to discuss his person and agenda for Nigeria. Primate of the Anglican Church of Nigeria, Nicholas Oko, charges politicians to work for peace and economic prosperity of the nation as Nigerians celebrate Christmas. And outside Nigeria, police killing of another black teenager pits the people against the police and city officials in Beckley near Ferguson. Thanks for staying tuned with us. Now details of the headlines and other stories. President Goodluck Jonathan has re-echoed his advice to the political class to avoid sowing seeds of discord and hatred in the run-up to the 2015 general elections. The president said it was embarrassing to hear divisive utterances from politicians at a time they should be basing their campaign strictly on issues. He was speaking at the special Christmas service at the St. Matthew Anglican Church, Maitama, Abuja. Presidential candidate of the All Progressives Congress, Muhammadu Buhari, has revealed how he took some major economic decisions as military head of state without the initial knowledge of some key members of government. Buhari made this known in a question and answer session with a group of volunteers in Lagos on Tuesday night. CoreTV News reports that the APC presidential candidate told the gathering how he was able to successfully deal with the economy during his regime, especially the change of the naira and its attendant effects, including the famous 53 suitcases. The report.
Buhari did not mince words when he hit the civilian regimes for the mismanagement of the nation's economy. He was particular about the damage done to the economy and the bleak future forced out on Nigerians by politicians in the Second Republic.
The military then handed over a financially and physically secure country to Second Republic. But after those 4 years, 3 months, nobody knew how much debt Nigeria has incurred. They have spent the money in the external reserve. They have incurred so much debt, nobody knew the amount of debt, external, internal.
Though his role as a military head of state barely spanned a year, Buhari says the value of the naira posed a major challenge for his administration.
So I called the governor of Central Bank then, later Ahmed. What is happening to our economy? He said, he blamed the politicians. He said the politicians were not only corrupt, but they go to Taiwan and order Nigerian naira to be printed for them, and they put it in the economy. So you see, he's absorbed himself and put the blame on politicians.
But how did he manage the process?
When the Naira came, it was put in C-130 aircraft and sent where there are big central banks, you know. Instead of going to Kirikiri, you know, soldiers found out they were going to Kano, to Enugu, and so on, and going to central bank. That was when I called Babangida, later Alpha, later Ikomo, who was the service chief, and late Inspector General Opposition. I told him, this is what I have done. I'm going to change the Naira, close the borders.
The APC presidential candidate, known for his rigid principle, refused to be cajoled by the international conspiracy, especially by his counterparts in the West African sub-region, who appeared all out to frustrate his effort.
When Rollins told me he has so much money, himself and late Sani Kunchi of Niger Republic, I said, you know, our currency is not convertible. Why did you put it in your central bank? Go and make Faso with it. I refused to change it for them. I said, you, Niger, from Lake Chad to Sokoto, we share a border with you. Nobody can stop oxen, donkeys. If your currencies cannot be crossed and you have people in Nigeria, distribute to them, put it in our banking system, change it for you, okay, is your problem.
He also cleared the air on the 53 suitcases involving the then Emir of Gwandu, whose son Mustafa Jukolo, the present monarch of the Emirates, served Buhari as aide-de-camp.
I said to him, I said, Mustafa, he said, yes. I said, your father is coming back today. He said, yes. I said, okay, go and meet him. He had even no intention of going to meet his father. And when they went, the luggage of that man and the emir, who has about 1 or 2 boxes, just people said they brought currency. And Atiku was in charge of Murtala Mohammed Airport then. There wasn't such a thing.
The reason why the APC is searching for Buhari as its presidential candidate was reinforced by 2 of the party's chieftains who accompanied him to the session.
That in my study of history, there is never a leader for all times. There are leaders for the moment. The issues in Nigeria today start fresh from security to corruption and to economic management or mismanagement, depending on what side you are. On the president's record, he has not done well on all those 3 issues. So those are the issues. And therefore, in deciding who to choose from, really, you decide whether General Buhari is the leader for the moment.
The gospel, you've heard the good news. It's time for you to preach it, across the nooks and crannies of this country, for us to really effect that change that we desire.
If his revelations and frankness at the section are anything to go by, Buhari adherents present at the occasion were over the moon that needed change the craved for will materialize in no time. But the ultimate decision lies with the entire Nigerians in 2015.
The All Progressives Congress vice presidential candidate Yemi Osinbajo has taken advantage of the Christmas holiday to get acquainted with the people of the free bus ride provided by Lagosians, for Lagosians by the state government. Oluwaseyi Adegoke has details in this report.
As it is the tradition of the Lagos state government to provide free bus ride for Lagosians during all festive period, the residents of Lagos took advantage of the gesture. But, unknown to them, a surprise awaits in the bus for them in the shape of Yemi Osinbajo, vice presidential candidate of the All Progressives Congress in the 2015 general elections. Osinbajo says it is an opportunity for him to meet with the people.
Basically, it is to get a feedback, find out what it is that concerns people. We've done surveys, we've done polls. What is it that affects people the most? What is it that concerns people the most? And the best thing is to find out firsthand, So that's where we're riding on the buses, just checking people out, finding out what it is that concerns them the most.
From TBS to Barracks at Ojuelegba, to Ikmori bus stop, back to TBS, many of the passengers were delighted to meet the APC vice presidential candidate.
best that God can provide in Jesus' mighty name.
Yemi Osinbajo has this to say after the ride.
Incredible, incredible. I think that what I've found out is better than 10 seminars put together. I think that the people here have really, all the people I've spoken to, it's the same thing. People are talking about the same issues. They're talking about employment, they're talking about housing, they're talking about security. The ladies I've spoken to are asking about Chibok girls. You know, I think that this is better than any workshop or seminar or anything. Just hearing directly from the people. It's an incredible opportunity to know what Nigerians are saying.
He called on all Nigerians to choose wisely in the 2015 general elections. Oluwaseyi Adegoke, CoreTV News, Lagos.
As the nation prepares for the 2015 general elections, Lagos State Governor Babatunde Fashola says electing APC presidential candidate Muhammadu Buhari and other candidates of the party is the only way to put Nigeria back on the track for development. Fashola stated this at the Yoruba Tennis Club and Island Club Christmas Eve party, flanked by the party vice presidential candidate Yemi Osinbajo. Lagos APC governorship candidate Akinwumi Ambode says Buhari is the only presidential candidate that has the quality to liberate Nigeria from what he termed as developmental bondage.
But I am clear, very clear in my mind, that a vote for that other party will be a vote for bad leadership, and it will be an own goal that Nigeria will score against herself. We need a fresh pair of hands, a fresh pair of eyes, and a fresh pair of minds to take us to our promise. The All Progressives Congress, with General Buhari and Professor Yemi Osinbajo, SAN, represent the leadership that Nigeria needs now.
Go to Lagosians to vote for continuity by electing Ambode as his successor.
As Accountant General for 6 years. He worked in the local government also for many years. Dr. Adebule has worked with me for almost 4 years as the secretary to the state government. Mr. Ambode was part of the building process. He understands how government works. He will not be guessing on day one. If you elect him as my successor, you will be consolidating what we have built together, because he comes with experience.
The senator representing Cross River South Senatorial District in the National Assembly, Basio II, has resigned his membership from the People's Democratic Party. This follows the outcome of the recent senatorial primary in which Otu lost to the PDP election to chairman of the State Water Board Corporation, Gershom Bassey. Protests had trailed the conduct of the exercise, which was described as free and fair by the state PDP. While addressing his supporters at the Margaret Igbo International Airport in Calabar, Otu says he resigned because he could not identify with a party which lost touch with the interest of the people. Though he has not disclosed which party platform he will move to, rumors has it that he will be joining the Labour Party. Others who were also reported to have left the PDP in the state are a former governorship aspirant, Godi Jediagba, and some other top members who are said to be displeased with the outcome of the party primaries in the state. The war of words between former President Olusegun Obasanjo and a PDP chieftain, Buruji Kashamu, has continued, with describing the book My Watch by Obasanjo as an attempt to rubbish Jonathan's achievement. Some sections in which My Watch pointedly faulted the leadership style of President Goodluck Jonathan while presenting a book on the Jonathan administration titled No Enemy to Fight, Goodluck Jonathan on the Marble, contains Jonathan's quotable quotes since 2011 till May 1, 2013, which was jointly edited by Oronto Douglas and Akbodiga Flatier. Kashamu says the release of the book, My Watch, was ill-timed. Kashamu says the former president aimed to score cheap political points positing that was why he went ahead with the publication of the book despite a court order. Obasanjo had also accused Kashamu of being a fugitive from the law in America in the book My Watch. As the 2015 election draws near, the General Superintendent of the Deeper Life Bible Church, William Kumoyi, has urged members of the ministry to get their permanent voter cards and vote for the candidates of their choice come 2015. Speaking in Ado-Ekiti ahead of the 3-day crusade of the church, Kumoyi urged Nigerians not to vote along ethnic or religious line come 2015.
Of us, the populace, should look at what kind of leaders do we want, what are we expecting from them, and then from their past records as well as their manifesto, so to say, find out those who will be able to deliver, and then vote not because of religion, not because of ethnic association, affiliation, but on the fact that this is what we know and this is what will do our country good. So, Deeper Life members, this is me, this is not journalists pushing me to say it. Get your cards, go and vote.
With the drums of war by each side of the political divide towards the 5th 2015 polls, Kumoyi advised politicians to play by the rules and accept defeat.
When the vote has been cast, the people have spoken. Those who win, they rejoice. And then they now set themselves to serve us. And those who lose, to accept and to rejoice with those who have won, so that we move the country forward.
The Ado-Ekiti conference will last between 24th and 26th of this month. It's still CoreTV Prime Time News. We'll take a break after this timeout.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Professor. My former students. Happy birthday.
Every day, life is made better by the moments of surprise we create for others and for ourselves. Be better. Surprise someone this season and make sure to text 11 to 400 to get a surprise from MTN.
MTN, everywhere you go.
Do not deface public property. Do the right thing. Let's change the way we think.
Thanks for staying tuned with us. It's CoreTV Prime Time News. A recap of our major headlines. President Goodluck Jonathan cautions politicians on utterances as the 2015 elections gradually draw near. APC presidential candidate Muhammadu Buhari meets youth volunteers in Lagos to discuss his person and agenda for Nigeria. Primate of the Anglican Church, Nicholas Okoro, charges politicians to work for peace and economic prosperity as Nigerians celebrate Christmas. Don't forget that you can also catch us on our social media platforms. On Facebook, it's facebook.com/CoreTV News. on Twitter at CoreTV News NG. And on YouTube, youtube.com/CoreTV _Space News. The primate of the Anglican Church, the Most Reverend Nicholas Oko, has advised government officials and political office seekers to put people's expectations in mind as they jostle for votes. He said this in a sermon titled "The Jewish Messianic Expectations and 2015 Elections" at a special Christmas service in Abuja, which had President Goodluck Jonathan and a handful of politicians in attendance. The Anglican primate argued that the elections were a critical period in the country and reminded the political class that expectations of Nigerians bother on peace, security, and general prosperity. And turning to the electorate, Reverend Oko urged them to base their voting decisions on the common good.
As we look forward to 2015 and the general elections, it should be important that in choosing the people who go to represent us, from the local government to the state assemblies to the National House of Rep to the Senate to the governors to our president, we must all be concerned about the total well-being of our people. If you bring people who do not care, then our condition will worsen.
And Ekiti have joined their counterparts across the globe to celebrate this year's Christmas by playing host to two leading pastors, Williams Kumuyi of the Deeper Life Bible Church and Enoch Adeboye of the Redeemed Christian Church of God. The state government, however, called on the people of Ekiti State to continue to cooperate with the government during the festive period. Rashid has more in this report.
The mood of celebration pervades the air inside the Ado-Ekiti City Stadium, venue of a special Christmas Mass conducted by the General Overseer of the Redeemed Christian Church of God, Enoch Adeboye. The joy of the day is not lost on the Christian faithfuls who came to celebrate while they are treated to different soulful gospel renditions and responding to the songs with beautiful dancing steps. Children are also not left out. Pastor Adeboye, accompanied by the Ekiti State Governor Ayodele Fayoshe and top government officials, prayed for the peace of the nation and fulfillment of the Christian faithfuls in their endeavors.
Someone here straight away that on this Christmas Day, God will do wonders in your life.
Christians were also advised to imbibe the lifestyle of Jesus Christ by surrendering all to God Almighty.
My advice is let everyone surrender to Him. He is the owner of our soul and is the one that can make things happen in our life, irrespective of what we might be going through in life.
The Ekiti State government, however, admonished all Ekiti citizens to be prayerful and support the government in delivering on its electoral promises.
Ekiti will be for better. And we are enjoining the people of Ekiti State that they should give a maximum cooperation to this administration. As we enter the new year, they should continue to be supportive, and they should be praying for the governor. They should pray for the government.
As Christmas is celebrated, it is expected that the message of Christ will not be lost in the merriment that comes with the season. Rashid, CoreTV News. Ado-Ekiti.
Meanwhile, in Ilorin, the Kwara State capital, Christians also joined their counterparts throughout the world in the celebration of the birth of Jesus Christ at St. Barnabas Anglican Church, Saboke. Presiding Pastor Olusegun Adeyemi called on Christians to reflect on the birth of Jesus and amend their sinful ways. Speaking on the topic, Nativity of Christ, he urged politicians to eschew violence for their heavenly citizenship to be guaranteed. Prayers were offered for the peace of the nation and guidance for the leadership.
One time thought he was a ghost when he walked on water. This Jesus Christ, the Son of God, who said, "You search the scriptures and wonder if all of them, from there you have eternal life." They talk about me. He fulfills scriptures. And the nativity is all talking about his dual citizenship. He said, "I'm from above, you are from below." And almost 2,000 years after he had gone and come, after he come and gone, the real focus is that he did tell his disciples, "I'm going to prepare a place for you." Our own, heavenly citizenship is now to be focused on how to accept him to become sons of God, or how to receive him, how to believe in his name, and how to take the positive step and apply for heavenly visa, which the Bible says in Matthew chapter 7, you ask, you receive, and it's only those who ask that receive. If he's coming back, then the celebration of Christmas should teach us and remind us of the rapture of the second coming, so that our heavenly citizenship is guaranteed. This is a call out to all Christians and all human beings who want to make heaven, to accept him as Lord and Savior, to now see that this Jesus Christ, who they go to Israel to see the circumstances of his birth and his burial, to know that he's truly coming back. And in his words, when he's about coming, there will be rumors of war, insurgents, earthquake, flood. These are Christmas issues to remind us that we need to register for the nativity of heaven to make rapture.
The Nigerian Army has distanced the commanding officer of the 103 Battalion, Anthony Wende, from a petition reportedly written to President Goodluck Jonathan on reasons behind the failure of the counterinsurgency operations in the northeast. Some online news media have recently reported that the commanding officer petitioned the president, where allegation of corruption was said to have been the reason for the prolonged battle against insurgents. The letter to the president also claimed that the military did not have the necessary weapons to prosecute the current counter-insurgency war against Boko Haram. But speaking at a press conference, Deputy Director, Army Public Relations of the 7th Division of the Nigerian Army in Maiduguri, Sani Usman, says the Nigerian Army had investigated the petition and discovered that the officer was not the author of the letter, adding that the letter was meant to distract the army from its fight against terrorism. Wende, who was also at the press briefing, says he never authored any letter to the president, adding that the report that he is being threatened by the army authorities is false. Inspector General of Police Sulaiman Abba has been leading a team of police personnel on patrol of recreational centers and other public places in the Federal Capital Territory. This, according to the Police High Command, is to give residents of the Nigerian capital have a sense of safety during the festive season. At the end of the motorized patrol, the police helpsman gave an insight into security development across the country.
Oh, I'm glad to say that all the church services have finished. There is no report of any incident. To God be the glory. But we also, that will not make us to relax. There are quite a number of things associated with this festive period, and particularly a great festive period like the Xmas. It will mean people after the Xmas will go and eat the rice, eat the chicken. And normally when you feed the stomach, the next thing you like to do is to go out and relax somewhere. And so we are out there to make sure that the places that people are likely to visit, including the roads they use in getting to those places, are well secured.
Do we expect same after the festivities?
Well, of course, police duty is 24 hours. If I tell you when I went to bed last night, you may not believe it. But by the special grace of God, He has given us the strength to come out. So it's 24/7, and it's all over the country. That's why you see aerial patrols, you see motorized patrols, you see foot patrols. But the most important thing is that we don't do it alone. The public will need to support us in every respect, so that we give them we prevent crimes, and then we give them that sense of security 24/7.
While many Nigerians were celebrating Christmas Day, members of the Bring Back All Girls group took to the streets of Abuja to draw attention to the plight of over 200 Chibok schoolgirls still held by Boko Haram insurgents. The group had converged on Unity Fountain, the usual venue of its regular sit-out protest, before marching through the city center, chanting slogans and handing out handbills to motorists. Members of the protest movement are also demanding that the government adopts a new approach in waging war against insurgency in the country. The campaigners say they prefer to be on the streets on Christmas Day rather than indulge in celebrations, since the Chibok girls are still in captivity.
Girls are still missing. Yes. That our girls are with wild animals in the bush. Yes. And that our leaders should not be resting when our daughters are in the bush with wild animals. Yes. We are here to remind them symbolically that the citizens of this nation that elected them into the National Assembly expect that they should not be at rest until our girls are back. My dear family, are we going to move on? No! Shall we move on without the Chibok girls? Can our nation move on without the Chibok girls? What are we demanding? Bring back our girls now!
I feel like crying here now. That people are so concerned about these girls. And I know that this will not only bring our girls, but it will bring a change in this country where like corruption has already been organized and is okayed. All of us are going to say no to anything that is wrong anytime. Anything that is wrong is not good for us, it's not good for our children.
Kwara State Governor Abdul Fattah Ahmed has inaugurated the pioneer executives of the Association of Kwara Marketers, while also vowing to support them financially. Abdul Fattah Ahmed says the state government will do whatever it can to ensure the business receives a boost. The governor also donated the sum of 100 million naira to the association as a means of, according to him, make the informal sector grow.
From the beginning, I've committed to the informal sector, especially market men and women, as well as artisans, because that is a reliable way of touching the lives of a large number of our people in positive and tangible ways. I'm therefore happy to join you today for the inauguration of the State Pioneer Executives of the Kwara State Association of Marketers, KWA.
Ahmed also restated his administration's focus on women and the development of the informal sector. He, however, urged the recipients to make judicious use of the 100 million naira support.
That approved the release of 100 million in revolving macro credit to members of Kwara State Marketers Association. This money will be made available to you through designated microfinance banks, who also advise you on how to manage the funds and your businesses. Let me emphasize that 100 million is not government largesse and should not be treated as such. I therefore urge you to use the funds quickly for your business and repay as agreed, so that others can also benefit from the scheme. With this disbursement, I'm confident that you will grow your businesses and enhance your life and those of your families.
It's CoreTV Primetime News. We'll take another break and return with business, sports and stories outside Nigeria. Stay with us.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, dear Professor.
My former students.
Happy birthday.
Every day, life is made better by the moments of surprise we create for others and for ourselves. Be better. Surprise someone this season and make sure to text 11 to 400 to get a surprise from MTN.
MTN, everywhere you go.
Good to have you still. Stay tuned. Now to business. Individuals and organizations may have to pay more for power supply come January 1st, 2015. According to the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, the rise in the price of gas, as well as the aggregate and technical losses incurred by the power generation and distribution firms, gave rise to the increase in tariff. The tariff increase, however, would affect residential customers for the first 6 months of next year, adding that the new rate was basically a review of the multi-year tariff order. NERC says the recent review was a special one explaining the commencement of the MYTO 2.1. The Commission would now progressively hold electricity distribution, transmission and generation companies as well as other market operators to the terms and conditions of their licenses. NERC chairman stated that the tariff review was imperative because of the commencement date of January 1, 2015 for the transition electricity market and the Memorandum of Understanding between the Central Bank of Nigeria and the Nigerian electricity supply industry. According to him, all these measures are being put in place to ensure that the new owners will fund the operations and provide improved electricity supply. The National President, Nigeria Association of Chambers of Commerce, Industry, Mines and Agriculture, Nasima Alhaji Mohammed Abubakar, said the decline in crude oil prices did not come as a surprise as it had been long predicted. He made this known during a press briefing on the state of the nation in Lagos. The association had consistently warned that the price of the Nigerian crude oil, which sold at over $110 per barrel at its peak, was not sustainable. The fall in price was inevitable following the production of shale oil or scale oil by the United States and the global economic slowdown, which had resulted in less demand for crude oil. Increased production from Iran and Saudi Arabia have also flooded the market with negative effects on prices. Other problems facing the country are oil theft, illegal refineries, pipeline vandalism, and royalties payment default. The Nasima boss said these cost Nigeria billions of dollars every year. The excess crude account has also dropped, urging the federal government to address the challenges in the overall interest of the economy by passing the Petroleum Industry Bill and ensure the full implementation of the Local Content Act so as to improve employment generation in the oil and gas sector. And that's it on business. We join Brownson Omana for happenings in the sports scene.
Thanks for joining me on our Sport News tonight. I am Brownson Owana. Three-time African Footballer of the Year, Yaya Toure, will defend his crown against Aubameyang and Vincent Eyama. CAF unveiled the names of the three final contenders on its website on Thursday. The three made the cut following votes from coaches or technical directors of National Association affiliated to CAF. The winner will be unveiled at the Glow CAF Award on Thursday, 8 January 2015 in Lagos, Nigeria. Mali has pulled out of the international friendly game against the Super Eagles of Nigeria for Abu Dhabi in January. Malian Football Federation decided to withdraw from the game as it will affect the camping exercise for the African Cup of Nations out in Build for Equatorial Guinea. Meanwhile, Sudan will play Daniel Mokachi's led team in January, 6 days after playing Cote d'Ivoire. And now some games that will be played on Boxing Day in the EPL, starting from league leaders. Chelsea will take on West Ham United. Burnley will play host to Liverpool. Crystal Palace versus Southampton. Stoke City will travel to Everton. Leicester City will play host to Tottenham Hotspur. Manchester United will continue their good form against Newcastle United. Hull City will travel to Sunderland. Swansea City will slug it out with Aston Villa. West Ham United will take on Manchester City, while Arsenal will take on Queen's Park Rangers. And that's a wrap on our sport news tonight from all the sport departments. It's Merry Christmas.
You can now watch CoreTV News live from anywhere in the world on our website, www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to CoreTV Primetime Days.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click CoreTV, leave a space, then News. CoreTV News, our 24-hour news station.
It's good to have you still. Stay tuned. CoreTV Primetime News now, stories outside Nigeria. Officials in the American city of Berkeley are scrambling to head off renewed anger after an armed black teenager was shot dead by a white officer in the St. Louis suburb, insisting the use of force was justified. The killing, which took place late Tuesday at a gas station in Berkeley near Ferguson, ground zero of a new protest movement over police killing of black suspects, triggered immediate protest. Though the killing of the armed black teenager has sparked comparisons with the brown killing in Ferguson that precipitated nationwide protest, officials in Ferguson's neighborhood suburb Berkeley say Tuesday's shooting should not be compared to the previous cases and said the officer was acting in self-defense, though his account was hotly disputed by the victim's mother, Tony Martins, by police. But police and officials say the 18-year-old Antonio Martin was known for assault and robbery charges.
Ferguson or the Gardner case in New York. The Gardner case in New York, they had the video. Ferguson, they did not. We have the video. And I can assure you that what's on the video is what we're going to use. The video shows that the deceased pointed a gun that has been recovered at the officer. And I think that the officer, because he stumbled, might have saved his life. When we conclude our review and our investigation, we'll be in a better position. But at this point, it appears, and let me say that strongly, it appears that the person that's deceased, that I do not want to name, was pointing a gun.
Before we go tonight, a quick reminder of our major stories. President Goodluck Jonathan cautions politicians on utterances as 2015 elections gradually draw near. We also told you that the APC presidential candidate Muhammadu Buhari met with youth volunteers in Lagos to discuss his person and agenda for Nigeria. We also told you that Nigeria, primate of the Anglican Church in Nigeria, Nicholas Oko, charges politicians to work for peace and economic prosperity of the nation as Nigerians celebrate Christmas. Thank you so much for staying with us on this Christmas Day. Once again, Merry Christmas and to have a lovely night rest. I am Gift or Gete. Good night.